If the adage that one man's garbage is another man's prize is true, then Ontario is sending a lot of valuable casts off to landfill. And despite some increased recycling of organics, tires, electronics, and hazardous waste, the vast majority of Ontario's rubbish is never destined for anything but disposal. And that's, well, a waste. In a struggling economy, new provincial policies that dictate tough rules for garbage diversion could help create business opportunities and jobs, not to mention a boost for that old chestnut, the environment. That's why Ontario should act on recommendations in a new report from the Ontario Waste Management Association. Called ReThink Waste, it creates a blueprint for a committed relationship between garbage and economic growth. There's now a market for almost anything. Old synthetic carpet, for example, can get a new shot at life as recycled plastic. The government should play matchmaker between garbage and the recyclers who revel in its economic beauty. A new framework is needed that drives innovation and accountability, since earlier recycling programs did little to promote real product improvements by allowing companies to just pass on costs to consumers. Remember eco-fees? OWMA's report recommends sweeping new policies that could increase the province's overall diversion rate. If, for example, recycling jumped from 25 to 50%, the recycling industry could invest up to $1 billion into the sector, creating 5,000 direct and almost 18,000 indirect jobs. Considering Ontario's dismal recycling rates, the status quo is simply unacceptable. Ontario's overall recycling rate is only 40%, 8% lower than Toronto's. Far worse, at 13%, is the commitment from the industrial, commercial, and institutional sector. All told, the province recycles only 25% of its 13 million tons each year, and almost 4 million tons of waste is shipped each year to the United States for disposal. The waste management sector is undergoing a monumental change, with companies spending millions researching and developing new plans and facilities to transform waste. Shingles can be recycled into asphalt used on bike paths. Gypsum from drywall can be turned into agricultural soil additive that enriches crops. So Ontario must change old plans or failed ideas by creating new rules to meet the market's potential for growth. To start, we should create a new approach for extended producer responsibility, which means the company that creates a product must recycle it. In Europe, these rules force producers to redesign products or packaging, making recycling easier. Ontario's programs have mostly allowed producers to offload the costs onto consumers with little incentive for change. Some waste, like organics taken from commercial use, could be banned from disposal altogether, so companies can't just ship them across the US border. Changes to the Waste Diversion Act could add, instead of deleting, hazardous waste for recycling, like fluorescent lamps or mercury switches. Even tweaks can make a difference. For example, if all government offices were required to recycle carpet instead of sending old rolls to landfill, it could create a new market. The industry is rapidly evolving, but current legislation, or lack of it, remains the greatest impediment to change. If the government accepts another adage, that the only constant is change, then we must adapt Ontario's policy for an industry that is more than ready to evolve.